Bitcoin seems to be stalling out right around 20,000 after that nice rally that we had, almost up to around 22,000, but that rally has been left wanting. Global markets also seem to be a bit shaky again today, with fears that recession is incoming, even though it feels like we've been recessed here for quite a while. I've got my friend Nebraskan Gooner here today to discuss the charts and what's happening with the Bitcoin market. Also going to review the news. Let us go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I am Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets, and that is the Wolf of All Streets behind me. See him? I didn't focus, but yeah, that's the wolf back there. That'll be there for all of today because tomorrow I will be I'll be off tomorrow. There will be no stream, no newsletter tomorrow. That's a rare thing because I got a lot going on. But on Friday, I will be in a completely new space, and we will see what that looks like by the time it actually happens. As you guys can see here, today's live stream is sponsored by our good friends at Bullish Exchange. As you know by now, because you've been watching and listening to my podcast over and over and over and over again, Bullish is the best of both worlds between centralized exchanges, sexes, and decentralized exchanges, dexes, sex and dex. Man, we go for it with our naming of things in crypto. But I guess it's fine when you have guys like Elon Musk naming cars, S3XY sexy. I guess it's fine for us to be going all sex and dex on it, right? But yeah, guys, today is it's going to be a good day. Good to be a good day because I got Nebraskan Gooner coming on in a bit. I had Castillo trading yesterday. The three of us hung out quite a bit at Consensus. They were hanging out while I was doing my podcast. They were shaking it up with all the guests, hanging out. And actually, right now, I think on a total separate note, I think right now there's a hearing about to start in kind of the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress, which means our good friend Jerome Money Powell is going to be speaking. We've had some fun watching him before in the past. We'll see what time he comes on. If we have time, maybe I'll click over and we can laugh at him a bit. Now, Gooner's not here yet. So going to go ahead and start digging into the news. Look, I'm going to put my face like this. That's better. Nope. Now the ad's on my face. Not better. All right. We'll do news like this and we'll do charts that way. That'll be cool. Or I'll just take myself off. Feels like kind of cool because we can go full screen with the charts and then you don't have to see my face at all. But here you go. Bitcoin slips nearly 20K. Citi sees 50% chance of recession. Now they're doing the whole pricing in recession thing, and everybody's giving that really confident 50-50 view. 50% chance. That's like a weatherman. Come on, man. Man up and give us a better prediction. Tell us what you really think. Don't do this 50-50 garbage. But yeah, markets seemingly are dropping today on fears that a recession could be coming. And we have a narrative every single day, and nothing's changed. Markets are doing what they're doing. Inflation numbers are inflation numbers. Fed is remaining hawkish, but every day you can go on Bloomberg and read, ooh, today's market's rocked by fears of an incoming recession that have been there for months. But today we're reacting, right? So that's basically what happens here is that we listen to Jay Powell, we listen to the tone, we get super panicky, and then we realize it's not a big deal, and markets go up and markets go down. And Bitcoin kind of does its thing, but that's what we're looking at there at the moment. Crypto crash survivors could become tomorrow's Amazon's Bank of England, says, really? Really? UK central banker compares crypto crash to dot-com bubble. It's almost like he listens to every interview I ever do or all of my live streams because that right there is my thing. That's what I say. John Cunliffe. That's what I say. That's my thing, right? You've heard me say it many times, certainly on this show, right? What do I say? People go, it's like the dot-com bubble, bro. Pets.com is crypto. It's all going to die. And I'm like, you're taking the wrong view on what happened in the dot-com bubble. The biggest companies in the world were the ones that survived and thrived after that. And that is exactly what we will see from crypto. And now the Bank of England is all up on my jock saying the exact same thing, right? And they're right. Whichever companies survive this and come out on top, they will be the next biggest companies of another generation. Will that be Coinbase? I don't know. Will they be exchanges? Will it be layer ones of some sort? I have no idea, but I agree 100% with the sentiment, right? If you go back to 2000 and look at the largest companies in the world, none of them are on the list anymore. None of them are on the list anymore. Scott, are you more of a standing in front of a PC guy or sit kind of guy? I sense you're evolving. I'm a standing guy. When I do work, I'm standing. And now that I'm on my other desk, which stands, my stuff used to be over there. Now I'm enjoying this standing thing. What do you guys think? Do you like it better when I'm sitting or when I'm standing? I feel more animated, like I've got more movement. I can do more things. And you may notice that I'm constantly adjusting for back pain when I am sitting. Not a thing right now. FalconX valuation doubles to $8 billion despite crypto market turmoil. Why is this interesting? Well, you guys probably know that one of our favorite guests that we have on here all the time is Iken Torovich from FalconX. But this is pretty interesting considering the state of the market at the moment, which is that it seems like nobody wants anything to do with us. They hate us. We have rabies and probably also ear herpes. They're afraid of that. They don't like that. They don't like when you have herpes and they stay away. But still, some people seem to be raising a ton of money. And what's interesting about FalconX, of course, as you know, because you've been listening to me, they offer institutional investors access to crypto strategies and also services that enable banks and fintech firms to offer crypto products. They are on the very, very seriously, ultimately, utterly front lines of institutional adoption and are raising crazy money here. So they raised another $150 million, which raised their valuation from $3.75 billion to $8 billion. I'm seeing a bunch of people asking questions about Voyager being involved with 3 Arrows Capital. I have not seen that yet, so I cannot comment on it, but I will take a look at it and see what is up so that I can give you some honest appraisals. Scott, are you buying? I bought. My last bids filled at 18,000 for Bitcoin and in the 900s for Ethereum. So I just did my buying. I don't know what's up with Voyager. I think Voyager's fine. I have a lot of coins there. I'm in constant contact with them, but I will. I'll reach out and see what's up. As far as I know, they took a credit line as a just in case from FTX, which is what I've seen. It seems everybody's getting a credit line now. BlockFi got a credit line from FTX. You get a credit line, and you get a credit line, and you get a credit line, right? After seeing what happened to Celsius, it would be nice to know that you have a backstop. And I think that that's what most of these platforms are trying to do right now, right? In case there's a liquidity run, they can go borrow the money very easily and make sure that their customers get it. The question is, when you see BlockFi and Voyager and all of these companies being backstopped by FTX, is like, what happens if Sam just takes over everything, right? Like, cause he's becoming like the Fed of crypto here, kind of, right? You go out of business, we'll take our piece for a little tiny little loan, right? Do a little partnership with BlockFi. Sam commented on it. Seems like FTX is just eating the crypto world. That's what it feels like, just eating the entire world. So, man, I don't really know. I don't really know. Oh, Mike just sent me some new news here. I'm going to go ahead and just talk about this while we got it right here. Binance US eliminating fees on Bitcoin trades. The move comes as part of an effort to help our market and customers in a time of need. Dang, that's wild. That's wild. You can go trade for no fees on Binance.us. That is extremely appealing, I got to say. I haven't read this. This was just sent, but I'm assuming that this is a temporary thing during a bear market and that they'll come back to it. But we have seen FTX.us is doing commission-free stock trading. commission-free stock trading, which I find very, very interesting to compete with the Robinhoods and such of the world. They've gone out and said basically that they're losing money doing it, but they don't really care. Well, guys, you don't want to hear me talk, and I see that Gooner hath arrived. So I'm going to bring him on right now, and we can see what he's thinking about this market. Then we'll get back to the news. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, Scott? How's it going?
I like that jersey.
Thanks.
I like that jersey.
Appreciate it.
I wish I had it, but I packed everything. But I have the Juventus ball.
Oh,
signed by
yeah.
Chiellini that they sent me. Yeah,
Jeez,
awesome.
they must like you more than me. They didn't give me.
I didn't get the jersey.
What?
I didn't get a jersey.
Oh, so they.
By the way, guys, for anyone who doesn't know, BitGet is a sponsor of Juventus and have been nice to us and sent us some free shit as a result.
Pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. I want to get out to one of the matches this year, one of the Juventus matches.
So there's a rumor that you and I might be going to a Juventus exhibition match and playing basketball against some Juventus players.
That sounds scary. I'm terrible at basketball. Can I play soccer?
I haven't played basketball in 20 years, and those guys are professional athletes. I don't really care what sport.
Yeah, I don't think I have as good of a chance on either sport against them, but I don't think I could shoot a basketball.
If we play on an 8.5-foot hoop, I feel like I could dunk on them at least. Like get one nasty dunk in and just walk off with my broken old man ankles. Anyways, nobody wants to hear this. Anyways. So listen, man, I haven't even looked at the price since we started. Bitcoin's at about 20,600, sort of a stalled rally, but also still holding above that sort of 2017 all-time high. What are your general thoughts on the market here? And if you want to share your screen, of course you can, and we can look at some charts if you've got.
All right.
You can start speaking
I don't know, man. Let's see. I mean, I shared it yesterday on Twitter for sure. Like, all right, let me see how to share here. Share.
I'm assuming that every single person here follows you on Twitter and saw it, but we'll share it here again anyway.
Yeah, actually, how do I share a window here?
Go down to share. We've done this before, man. Come on.
Well, yeah, but I've got a new screen now, so it might. Hold on.
You go to share, then you go to share screen, then you go to window. There's entire screen, window, and Chrome tab. Guys, we are high production here. We don't mess around.
I see it now.
No, you don't get this everywhere.
Okay, hold on. Chrome tab, Bitcoin. We did it.
Yes. Okay, can I bring it up? Can I do it
now? All right.
Can I bring it up? Cool. Here we go.
All right. So, I mean, here's the deal. We've got this level right here. Where is it at? See, I've got an alert set. So basically, I'm kind of just waiting for this resistance reclaim before I'm going to hop in on anything at these levels. All right. Anything above here, we probably get a quick pop and we go to at least 25K and probably even 26K area because we really have a nice air gap here. If you don't look at the EMAs, you just look at price action, there's really not much price action in between these two areas. So get above 2200 EMA. We've got our other EMA resistance here, but overall, we'd probably get a nice pop here to the high, mid to high 20,000 area.
That 22, I'm looking on the weekly, but that, here, I can just bring it up. But that like 22.4-ish level is also that 200 MA on the weekly.
Oh, yep, exactly.
Which I know kind of is one of those everybody's watching it lines, which means it probably doesn't mean anything. Right. But that line has definitely been like in past, it's never really had price trading below it ever.
Yeah,
right? I mean, right here in March of 2020, it broke slightly and the next candle broke back above. But I mean, it's held as support. This is the furthest we've ever traded below that line, at least in the history of Bitstamp, which is pretty much the longest running serious exchange.
And this is probably the ugliest the monthly's ever looked. I mean, not like we've never really been super distributive up top. We've always kind of gone up high, rejected, trickled down, gone up high, rejected, trickled down. And I guess if I go to my historical chart here, we've just always kind of rejected, everyone dies, and then we go back up, everyone dies and capitulates, we go back up. But this time we had a really big major bull trap here up top, and we distributed for quite some time. So that just kind of is cautionary for me to say, maybe we don't recover as easily and quickly this time around. Maybe it's a little bit more painful, but it's hard to really say that with Bitcoin too, right? Because how many times have we seen Bitcoin look completely awful and then a month later it's like higher than anybody expected?
Yeah, I mean, in every bull run in history, it's like, oh, ascending wedge, this is going to break down, and it immediately obviously
right. I kind of feel like that's the way this bear market's going to end is with something that everyone's like waiting for it to go down lower, and then it just goes sideways for a period of time at a support, and everyone's waiting, and then it takes off. Because I don't think we're going to get as lucky again to get like this 2014 bear market where we literally had just this nice accumulation period, like just picture
Yeah, we
perfect.
kind of did that last summer too. I mean, in a much small,
This
less grand sort of, yeah.
the COVID drop. I mean, that was just
Well, yeah, I mean,
crazy.
just sort of all last summer was, sort of high 20s to low 30s after that sort of 10-day drop from the 60s.
Yeah. Oh,
Much
yeah.
smaller. It's much of a more of a blip on a monthly chart, as you can see there. Than
Yeah,
the one
and the
you
problem
showed.
is this was just a low volume buyback. I mean, this had bull trap written all over it from the start. And not only that, my indicator TopGoonX had also said that to sell the bounce. Down here on the weekly time frame, we got a sell the bounce signal at the bottom, basically. So you can see this red X here.
Yeah.
And that was given down here at the bottom. And that basically just means that trend has reversed now and you're supposed to sell the bounce. So it kind of sounds weird to say trend had reversed and we made a new all-time high, but we were within our rules of saying that as long as we don't break above the 1.337 fib, then we're going to stay bearish. So this becomes a mega bull trap. And then I had mentioned on Twitter, if we break below the 2.236 fib is when the trend really accelerates, and you can see exactly how that worked. I mean, as soon as we broke below the 0.236, you can see it held very strong for a while. As soon as we broke below it, we got this harsh trend. So now I'm basically looking for TopGoonX momentum to reset, because if we zoom out here, let me remove some of this. I actually want to. Oh, I'm on Bitstamp. Okay, perfect. So if we zoom out here, you can see that we've only ever gotten these sell signals, the sell approaching alert on Bitcoin 3 times ever on a weekly time frame, right? So we got it once here, and then once here up here, and we got the the bull trap on this one. And then as soon as our momentum breaks down is when we really accelerate the trend. And now you're seeing that we've only ever bottomed when momentum is in this bottom zone here for TopGoonX trend reversals. So you can see here, bottom zone, bottom zone, bottom zone. Okay. So we want to see momentum get down into this zone for us to be able to find a bottom. I mean, that's just historically how it works. Now,
That happened with sideways price action. I don't know the
it
indicator.
can, yeah. So if basically what would happen is that would be a bullish divergence if price is going sideways, but momentum's kind of dropping, which is actually kind of what we saw here anyway, right?
Yeah,
like we saw price kind of going
right,
sideways here, because it starts going sideways here, and you can see how momentum starts resetting, and this is just saying that the trend is resetting, right? So honestly, ideally, I would love to see the trend completely reset and see momentum just completely bottom out, because that would give us a weekly buy approaching alert, which we've never seen from TopGoonX on the weekly, but we have seen it on the daily time frame, and I like using Binance, and we did see it on the daily time frame once so far at 3,500 back in 2019, and that's the only time we've seen it on the daily chart on Binance.
Wow.
So I'd love that buy approaching alert. I would love to see that on a weekly time frame, and if it happens, I'll definitely be sharing the hell out of that, because that would be for me a mega signal. I mean, you can see how the daily worked so well on that buy approaching. So anything that, if we can get that again, especially on a weekly time frame, that would be a very probably a good trend reversal signal.
Yeah, that monthly that you showed, actually, I hadn't even really looked at the candle structure on it, but it actually looks like 3 black crows, which is never a great thing.
True.
Yeah,
we just have no lower wick.
Although, usually technically some people say they can't have wicks, whatever, but I mean, that's
true. The problem is we just don't have much of a lower wick right now. We really want to see a big lower tail if we're going to have any chance of a bounce, a strong bounce next month. But realistically, for any long-term investor, you've got a very clear level here. If somehow next month just is a massive V recovery and reclaims this 32K area, I mean, that's a big signal for people to pile back in, right? So this would just be a capitulation candle, kind of like the COVID candle. So anyone buying here and knife catching, with a lot of open air below, and over time, everyone tries to catch the bottom. Well, yeah, I might get in 50% later here But I can, for me personally, I can trade along the way. But if I'm going to hold from an investor standpoint, I want to see us breach this level, just like I wanted to see us breach this level from an investor standpoint to feel really confident in, holding for long term.
Yeah, like I'm watching, just sort of playing off what you're saying here. I mean, if you look at the weekly, we obviously have sort of this high. Oh, now it's not copying, unfortunately. So yeah, this low here, right? And then a high here. And I guess we would say that this is the next low, which would technically make this the higher high. And that's exactly where you're talking about, 32,000. So
Yeah,
that would actually be the
exactly.
first break in this bearish lower highs, lower lows market structure, would
Great
be
point.
getting back above this high, which is exactly where you just showed.
Yep, exactly. And again, I'm very low risk averse, right? Like I want to have confidence in buying and holding long term. So was I buying some Bitcoin down here? Yes, but did I feel confident in a long term investment standpoint? As far as trend wise and have confirmation of bull trend, nothing until we had broken this monthly trend line level here. This was
Yeah.
actually confirmation of trend. And you could see once you get that bullish trend confirmation, how quickly things take off, right? So that's where it's kind of easier too, because if you're a long-term investor here, you can be like, all right, well, I can load the ship here and my invalidation is basically right below anyway. And it's just almost an easy trade at that point,
Yeah,
which
that
would
makes
again
perfect
would
sense.
happen here. So that would be the same scenario here. If we somehow reclaim this very quickly, it would probably lead the same way. Everyone would FOMO back in and it becomes a very clear invalidation and likely would be, a pretty what's the word? Relaxing trade, I
Yeah.
guess.
People will be shorting the hell out of 32, though, if it gets there.
Well, it depends. If it got there like right away, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if we kind of deke around here and kind of like make our way back up, yeah, it's probably worth shorting. But
Yeah.
if
I
we
just
get
mean the first
V
try.
recovery,
Like, yeah, if it goes
oh
above.
yeah.
Yeah.
If we V recovery though, that would be a great way to get some fuel for that breakout there as well and get everyone to flip.
Somebody's asking me about three black crows. I can just pull it up here really quick. Let me take us off.
Yep.
Yeah, here's basically is the pattern, right? It's
Yep.
sort of a signal. There's also white soldiers to the upside, and then three black crows is considered a bearish pattern that shows actually that the trend is turning bearish. we obviously don't really want to see that right now. I
Right.
would say because that would mean that there's a lot more downside to come, which is what you sort of alluded to as well, considering we haven't even had any time to accumulate here.
Right. I mean, yeah, we're clearly in a bearish trend. We've been in a bearish trend, as I mentioned back in like January. Was it January after this monthly close and our secondary close here for confirmation of bearish trend. And so at that point, you're just waiting for some confirmation of bullish trend. And for me personally, that will just come with time. Right now the confirmation is what I just showed. If price action changes and develops over the next 3 or 4 months, then of course the confirmation can change to something else. So
Are
kind of
you
just
in
have to
any
take it piece
active
by piece.
trades on short time frames right now? I know that that's kind of what you really are doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, man, I've been having really good luck on low time frames lately with just this volatility and ranging. But
Luck.
no,
Good
nothing
luck.
today. I'm actually headed out of town later today, so I'm probably not going to enter any trades.
Nice.
On crypto.
I love that. Like, it's very easy to tell when you tweet that you have that very sort of rational and realistic approach to, like, I'm just going to trade if I'm sitting here and I'm not even going to bother if I'm not.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think is the right approach. Like, while you're in the car, driving to wherever you're going, like trying to get on your exchange, that's not the way to do this.
I've talked to so many people, and actually, I did make a YouTube video about this that is releasing today. So about making trading more into a profession and less of a gambling mentality, and getting rid of bad habits and things like that, to increase your success rate. So I did make a video about that. It's gonna be on YouTube later today if anyone wants to check that out. But man, like my hit rate on weekends, my hit rate if I'm not sitting at my computer is just probably it's more than 10% worse. So it's like, why even bother, right? Like if I can sit down on my computer and have a 60 to 70% hit rate, and then I leave my computer and my hit rate's 40 to 50%. Why would I even waste my time away from that? You know, and there's nothing worse than sitting down at your computer for like 2 hours and making a nice daily wage. And then you're out busy at the golf course with some buddies, or, you know, out doing something and you can't really monitor, and you just enter a random BS trade, and you come back an hour later when you get back to your, you know, your screen, and you're like, oh shit, I'm down. You know, I just gave away half my profit from this morning for no reason. So
That's always how it happens, man. So listen, you just alluded to the fact that you have a new video up. Where can people check out all your videos and obviously follow you, even though I know they all are?
yeah, I mean, obviously on Twitter, you can follow me. I do post all my videos to Twitter from YouTube, but if you go to youtube.com/Nebraskan Gooner, you can catch all of my educational series. I have tons of them, from like leverage trading that's more advanced, and then just like trading for beginners. That's like seriously like the basics and fundamentals. So a little bit of everything, a lot of like psych, mental stuff, you know, not just like on the charts, but keeping your mind right and how to improve your success on that route too. Because trading, just like with anything else in life, you know, working out or whatever you need to be doing, like working out isn't just weightlifting, right? Diet goes into it, sleep goes into it, yada yada. Technique goes into it. So trading isn't just about hopping on the charts and trading. You know, you need to be in the right mental state. You need to make sure that you're doing you know, the right things, as far as like, even just if I don't eat, I can't trade very well, you know, like if I'm starting to get like low blood sugar from not eating. So if I'm stressed in my personal life, if Arsenal just lost a soccer game and I'm mad that they lost, and now I'm going to go on here and take my anger out on the charts, right? So there's so many things that go along to it, and you seriously need like the perfect conditions to be able to sit down and do this the right way, day in and day out.
Absolutely love it, man. Great advice. Everybody should heed it. Please go follow him. Check out his videos, man. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining once again.
Appreciate it, man. Great to see you as well. Have a good one.
Have a safe trip.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, guys, Gooner, what a legend. Everybody loves him. He's one of the most beloved people, I would say, in this community for good reason. I don't know, because he gives good, sensible advice, and isn't a dick. It's really a good, I would say it's a really good formula, actually, when you dig in there. Really awesome. So we're going to continue on here with the news. I did notice now that I think the hearing might be happening over here. Let me see. Oh, man, there's old white guys doing angry white guy stuff over here. We're not going to look at that right now. Not going to look at that right now, but here we go. Doodles NFTs announced Pharrell as chief brand officer. Fundraise led by Alexis Ohanian. He's the Reddit guy, I think. Valuable NFT collection adds a famous face and fresh funding, plus announces plans for Doodles 2 avatars. Pharrell, I guess he's happy. Clap along if you feel like a doodle without a roof. I don't know if I can, you know. He's beautiful. He just wants to know you're his favorite doodle. Got songs all day from Pharrell, but man, it doesn't get much bigger than Pharrell if you're just going to be some like random NFT project. I guess they're not random doodles, but like Pharrell like looked at these and he was like, this is how I want to spend my time. This is how I'm going to spend my time. But pretty big news. I mean, he's coming in as their creative director. He has his own series of NFTs, the Gallery of Digital Assets, the GODA project. But he's the chief brand officer, so he'll help shape the collection's approach to music, artwork, consumer products, animation, and events. I wish Pharrell would do all of those things for me. So I got to say, this is pretty freaking sweet. Pretty sweet. Do you guys like Pharrell? I love Pharrell, man. Yeah, like the Neptunes were this entire soundtrack of my early DJ days, really. Like when I was really starting to play clubs in like the early 2000s, and like, you know, they made every song on the radio. The Neptunes at that point, I think there was a point I read that they like 70% of the songs that were being played on mainstream radio were produced by the Neptunes. Like they're producing like Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, every rap group ever. I mean, they were literally every song was Neptunes. Absolutely huge. This is not art. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say it's not art. Fourth one looks racist. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. So listen, I'll take them. Yeah, I'll take it. That'd be awesome. I would like him to come creative direct my life. Singapore provisionally approves Crypto.com, Genesis, and Sparrow for payments. Now, Singapore's financial regulators gave them in principle approval for payments in the country, and they've already started exploring the uses of DeFi on public blockchains. And I'm sure in their exploration, they realized that the best use cases of DeFi is to rug pull, lose money, systemic risk, and to farm yams on your potato head. I don't know, man. I tweeted this morning. I was thinking about it. Like, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, I mean, I wasn't really a part of the food craze, but I was like, what the fuck were we doing? Like, there was an entire summer where the only thing anyone cared about in crypto was yield farming their yam sushis and their hot dog farms. Like, you look at that from the outside and you're like, these crypto people apparently want to be taken seriously, but they're literally like getting 11,000% daily yield on their yam heads while their potato faces are doing their sushi butts over in the mechanical room. Right? That was not our best phase. I don't even know what got me starting to talk about this, but yeah, DeFi, exploring DeFi. I would say right now, DeFi has a whole lot of potential, but man, hard to get super excited at this exact moment. Scott, what's your favorite fast food? About to smash, bro. First of all, if you're smashing your fast food, you got bigger problems bopping your bologna like that dude in the movie Vacation. I don't eat fast food because I'm a healthy human person. See what we got next here. Tether is launching a let me add that to the screen. It's not on there, is it? It's not on there, is it? There we go. That's on my face. Hey, Tether is launching a British pound pegged stablecoin. The pound is getting pegged. Pound is getting pegged by Tether, and it likes it. It likes it. So they're feeling it. GBPT. And also last week, Circle announced on Thursday, and then I had a podcast with Jeremy Allaire. You should watch that on Sunday, the CEO of Circle, USDC. They did a euro-backed stablecoin. Now we're getting a Great British pound-backed stablecoin from Tether. It'll be interesting to see if we actually see any volume on these coins, but it's great that we are finally expanding beyond the hegemony of the United States dollar, the power of the dollar. Yeah. Scott, you got to move to black screen charts. Much easier for us to see. It's literally harder to see. I don't know. It's harder to see. White charts are easier to see. I don't know. You guys are like psychopaths. Use the black charts. I don't know. Can't do it. Yeah, the pound, pegging the pound. We're pounding and pegging. It's just what we do out here in these streets. And this is a really good story. I like this. Chainalysis launches 24/7 hotline for crypto crime victims. Right? Ransomware actors raked in an all-time high 731 million in crypto payments. That's not payments. That's in 2021, and 2022 is on track to be another record year for crypto-enabled cybercrime. But Chainalysis, you can now call the hotline. They interface with law enforcement like right there, and they help go get your coins back. This is something that we have desperately needed horribly, badly, awfully, terribly for a very long time. So I'm really excited to see this come to fruition. And let's just take a really quick look at a few charts right quick. Okay, 20,700, nothing to see here. Kind of nothing going on. ETH bouncing a little bit. ETH, look at this weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, potentially 12 weeks in a row of downside. Why? What do you guys have against Vitalik and his beloved coin? That's crazy. That, my friend, it's crazy. Look, I want to see something real quick. I'm not going to promise you that we're going to stick around and do this, but I'm going to try to bring up the old man hearing and see what they might be yabbering about. Stop that screen, share screen, Chrome tab, Senate hearing with audio. Bring that on and see what these old guys are talking about.
11 months later,
let's reset it because that's not up to date. Let's see what Jerome Powell.
We found, for example, during the pandemic that there are really just 4
you guys hear that?
Meat processes in the United States. And with 4 rather than a multiple of that, there is the ability to indirectly restrain supply and increase prices. In fact, some of my colleagues, particularly in the House, have been talking about the antitrust aspects of some of these price increases. Is that a plausible ingredient to the problem too?
So
I think that's really a matter for the competition authorities, not for us. But sure, I think broadly speaking, our economy is very competitive. There will be some industries where that's less so the case.
So these range of you have to take action, and your basically tool is interest rates.
You call them a tool.
Going in and out of buying public securities. But we have a lot of work to do too, which is to try to resolve some of these issues. And we have to do it.
I thought they might be talking about inflation. I don't know.
I was very pleased to see the president sign legislation with respect to shipping reform. That's a step, but we have to do much more too. Is that accurate?
I think that's really a question for you. We're very focused on sticking to our knitting and carrying out the task that we've been assigned.
No, I appreciate that. And the independence of the Fed is something that has to be protected by everyone, including particularly yourself. A final sort of issue that I'm thinking of, we're at a tremendous, I think, turning point in our economy. Factors that 10, 15 years ago were not active, things like social media, et cetera. But one other factor with respect to hydrocarbons is perhaps the companies are either unconsciously or consciously limiting investment because they're anticipating an electrified power supply, electric cars.
What's he doing with his thumbs? I never know what he's doing.
Something that the Fed is looking at?
I think that is certainly, if you pick up the annual report of any of the big oil companies, you'll see that is something that is happening. And it's a rational economic response to expectations about where future policy is headed.
No, I think there are so many factors here, but I think it's good to get some of them on the table. And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. With that, let me recognize Senator Till.
Thank you, Senator Reid. Again, Chair Powell, thank you for being here. By the Fed's own analysis of various policy rules, including the Taylor rule, the revised Taylor rule, the balanced approach rule, and the balanced approach shortfall rule, rates should have begun to rise long before they did.
Ooh,
According
here it
to the
comes.
Fed's own analysis of these rules, the Fed's fund rate should currently be above 6%. This is in a report to Congress. Yet the rate currently stands at 1.6%. Likewise, these same rules should have prompted the Fed to begin raising rates Q4 last year, Q1 this year. I'm concerned that the Fed has opted out of rules-based to discretionary monetary policy. As the Fed reviews monetary policy strategy, Chair Powell, will you commit to considering an increased weight for a rules-based strategy in Fed decision-making? And if not, what?
So we do use policy rules like the various forms of the Taylor rule in all of the analysis that we do. If you're thinking about how monetary,
Are we enjoying this? I can't tell. Are we enjoying this? I got to go in a couple minutes.
never really used them in a prominent way to actually set policy in real time. But that's not to say they don't shed light, and we do consult them. We consult them on an ongoing basis.
Jay Powell.
The rules called for deeply negative rates during the pandemic, and we didn't do that. They did call, of course, for rates to move up, and rates now really are moving up much closer to where the Taylor rule, various forms of the Taylor rule are. And I think by the end of the year, we'll be pretty close to where some of the Taylor rule iterations are. So it's something that we consider. I think in a couple of years when we look at
Can't do it anymore, guys. Not saying anything interesting. He didn't say Bitcoin once. I haven't heard the word crypto, and I didn't really hear much about inflation. All I know is that these dudes are old and boring, and they have got to go. Guys, as I mentioned, yes, that was live. Someone asking, that was live. I don't know, man. I had to, if I find myself trying to force myself to dance, it's usually a bad luck. All right. So listen, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Getting some new things set up, doing some stuff, and going to be at some places that you guys can't go with me tomorrow, sadly. It's going to be great. Check out Bullish, as you guys can see right down there below. And until Friday, I'll be back Friday, and everything will probably look different. Could be super jacked up. I don't even know. You don't even know. It could be really exciting. I will see you guys then. Peace.
That's dope.